Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaki Yamada. Today being Monday, the 15th of November or the 11th of October in the 9th year of Chongyalguk. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Chariot, Kyombe, Haro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가정맨세 5. 전국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 전산세계와 대산적 지산세계의 통일을 향해 점진적 발전을 촉진할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 5. Our family, the owner of Chongyalguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. Thank you. I'd like to ask who's maybe even Ilse, if you could offer the opening prayer today. Thank you.
You're going to ask me, Joe? Good morning. Good morning, beloved Heavenly Parents and your true parents, Father in heaven and Mother here on earth. Let's join together this morning for you, Hodok. We know you are present in your lives and in this special moment. We'd like to pray for True Mother for her good health and her vision as she worked toward this fulfillment by 2027. So through hearts and minds, we pray to support that providence. So for all brothers and sisters in a position of leadership, in true unite with True Mother in the heart, and be able to give that the whole community, that love of True Mother's love. So pray for inspiration, for wisdom. And so pray for the children, for second generation, third generation, fourth generation. In this providence. In this moment, I pray, for all those things in your names, here together. My name, David Evanils Eichler, sent to the blessed family.
Adieu. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as she shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining morning devotion of Oceania. Really, today is beginning of the week. Let's put our Johnson in the heart. Then let's create a great moment. Thank you for your attending all the time. Tomorrow we will have some follow-up gathering of PCLC centering on New Zealand initiative and also Oceania level. So we will invite also Christian clergy of Oceania, and we will have a follow-up meeting. And from next week in Asian Pacific region of PCLC, we will launch the official program. Twice a month, we will organize the online fellowship. So when we see the society, there are many kinds of issues. Family issue, youth issue, or many issues, but those issues should be discussed and should be solved together with Christianity. That's why in the online fellowship, we will prepare some topic, and our side, our speaker will give the presentation for 10 minutes, and the Christian side, they will prepare the topic as presentation for 10 minutes. Then after that, we will have a free discussion. So this is the PCLC, Pacific Christian Leadership Conference online fellowship. So all Christian clergy, the weekend is busy for them. So every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Sydney time, we will first and third Tuesday, 5 p.m. Sydney time, we will organize this online PCLC online fellowship. So first meeting is from next Tuesday, 23rd of November. And topic is God's plan for family. So maybe you have already some Christian clergy who are connected, and even some new clergy will be connected in the future. So this online fellowship platform become the good place to discuss and share. So Christian clergy, they can also share, or they will share their perspective, or their also worriness, or their struggling point. So we will discuss and work together, and this become also the good, some kind of the stepping stone for the next development. So PCLC side is also going on. So tomorrow is our Oceania level, some anyway small just follow-up gathering, and from next week, Asian Pacific region, we will organize online fellowship. So please also support and also pray for all that things. And yesterday, as a Sunday, we are receiving, listening the beautiful testimony all the time. And yesterday we received our Reverend Tim and also Mrs. Margaret. So how was yesterday's story? Wow, that's really beautiful, great story. So Mr. Tom, Reverend Tim also shared a story from life of New York Village, Army, and also witnessed. So several really stories. Maybe his talking style, when I heard his story, really I can see the vision, the scenery, what's happened. Grandmother brought the blueberry, or one world crusade, visit to him, singing song in front of three parents, right? Wow, that is really beautiful. And the meeting principal, and also become the fundraising team, and really nervous and appreciate to meet your father. So I think this meeting with your father is really the precious moment for everyone, even direct or even indirect, or even far place. Even we don't talk with him directly, but the first moment of meeting with Messiah, meeting with true parents, and to stay same place. Well, this is really the historical or precious moment. I think all of you have that first moment or precious moment. And also he met Mrs. Margaret and follow to parents and to offer the whole life. And finally now they came back to Palau and invest to restore the nation of Palau. So when we see really the heavenly providence, when we see the unification movement by organized or leading by true parents, that is really a great movement. You know why? Because inside of true parents, inside of the concept of our heavenly parents, there is no concept of nation or nationality or border. America and Palau became the one couple. Brazil and New Zealand become one couple. And also Australia, Japanese also become one couple, right? England and Austria, Malaysia, Japanese. So really, there is no concept about nationality. There is no concept of the border. Already, once we join this movement, we should remove all those kind of the barriers or boundaries, because our heavenly parents doesn't have this concept. Our true parents doesn't have concept. That's why before we have concept about the person's nationality, we have to think first who he is, who she is as God's son and God's daughters. Those attitude is really important. So how we can unite this God's concept, how we can inherit those true parents concept as the citizen of Charnikuk. That's why already we met true parents, we are walking together. That meaning is we are standing in the gate of heaven, and already we are entering the life of kingdom of heavens. So when we see our true parents' life, and we are really standing in the history, when we reflect our life itself, really great thing. So our Reverend Tim and Mrs. Margaret, they really put down everything, the life in America, and came back to Palau. And now really investing for the Palau Providence. I really appreciate this the Reverend Tim and Margaret couple. And now in Palau, there are many kind of possibility. Already we could reach the head of state level, and many political leaders, religious leaders, educator, or school. There are many kind of family movement, youth movement. We could see many possibilities. So regional side, we are little bit support, and we are also a little bit suffering, but supporting some activity things. And now in the Palau, we are trying to find the center, because there are many possibilities, but still we could not open the center. So try to find. Really need also the rental fee, right? Every month 800 US dollar. So we are targeting to find this center first, and to find the support, then going to the next level and next level and next level. So I know everyone is there investing already to the several place. So if you can pray for that, cooperate and support for the Palau Providence, really our Reverend team and also Mrs. Margaret could get more power and energy, and really we can restore the nation of Palau. Aju. So please pray and please support our Reverend Tim and Mrs. Margaret. So please give a can to their investment in Palau. Thank you, Reverend Tim, you are sharing, and Mrs. Margaret, your investment. Yesterday was really also great. So let's continue our mother's autobiography. So now we are, Mother is sharing the last chapter of Mother's autobiography. In order to victory 2020, the final 40 days, dearly Mother organized many summits in each nation and region. So we could see now Mother finished the summit in Cambodia, and now Mother went to Taiwan, and she has been sharing about the role of China and the importance of Chinese or nation of China itself. So through those flow, through Mother established the able group of Chinese. So those providence was happened in Taiwan at that time. So now we are reading this part of Mother's autobiography. So today I will share several slides, and after that, I will invite the President of Chinese People Federation for World Peace in Australia, and also Oceania Coordinator, Reverend Lim. So he attended this summit, and also he received a special mission directly from True Mother. So we could hear his story also about Chinese People's Federation. So let's see the Mother's autobiography. In 2019, the task at hand was to establish the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace, CPFWP, and the Asian Pacific Union. Only after doing so can the age of the Pacific civilization be firmly established. In this historic context, the World Assembly of the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace was very significant. This World Assembly was hosted on November 22, 23, 2019 in Taiwan after we had inaugurated the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace in 8 nations, including Canada, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. So in order for future providence, Trumada initiated and established the Asian Pacific Union and Chinese People's Federation for World Peace. When we see the Chinese population toward world population, how many percent population is the Chinese populations? Do you know that? World population is the 7.8 billion people, right? And Chinese population, I think more than 1.5 billion people, I think around that amount. So 20% of world population is actually Chinese. So when we organize and fulfill the providence of heaven to establish ideal nation, ideal world, and Chonikuk, how much all these Chinese brothers and sisters role is important, right? 20%. Even restore all nation, but if Chinese is not connected, then 20% is missing. This is really big problem. But if 20% our Chinese brothers and sisters is connected well, another 80% is maybe getting easier. So Mother established this Chinese People Federation, and already 2 years are passed. So when we see the Oceania, maybe only Australia inaugurated this Chinese People's Federation. I'm not sure in Island nation yet. So how we can also think and consider for the Chinese community. Anyway, there are many kind of providence. Mother is initiating so many things. So in Chinese side, Mother also is initiating. So after 2 years, so this month, as the second year of anniversary, the World Assembly will be planned on November 27 this month. So you could join and you can invite our Chinese community also. It was truly a historic day. The opening ceremony was attended by more than 300 Chinese leaders. President Chang Po-ya of Taiwan's Control Yuan, who took the stage as the keynote speaker, introduced me with the following kind words. True Mother is a great woman who has devoted her life for the sake of others, and we have been given a rare and precious opportunity to meet her in person. So many Chinese leaders attended and also announced and introduced our True Mother. Following the World Assembly, we held the Hyojeon True Love Family Blessing Festival at the Nangan Exhibition Center. The venue was packed with some 7,000 couples from throughout Taiwan. They were eager to participate in this uplifting festival and receive the marriage blessing. Former Vice President Lu Shilian, who is widely respected in Taiwan, introduced me saying, thanks to the heaven-centered activities of Reverend Dr. Sam Myung-moon and Dr. Hak Cha-han-moon, we have now become one family, transcending rare nationality and civilization. It is an honor for me to be a part of this wonderful event. So this number is really big event. Taiwan is actually a small nation, but already they are initiating the family movement and blessing movement, and many couple attended this blessing ceremonies. So in Taiwan, this event itself, through this event, the able group of Chinese Association, Chinese People Federation was established. So centering on these things, we could also connect many Chinese and also support those world providence. So from now on, we will invite Levan Lim and listen the story. What's the heaven's will, heaven's hope and wish for China and also Chinese? What is the mother's wish and mother's hope? So really, we will concern and pray together. So thank you for joining and listening today. Let's have a great time and also let's listen our Levan Lim. So thank you very much. So let's welcome our Levan Lim.
Morning, brothers and sisters. Yes, thank you, Reverend Yamada, for giving me this opportunity to introduce Chinese People Federation for World Peace, which is still, I think, quite unknown to members, and it's still quite new so far, about 2 or 3 years. And it is still quite new in our community and in our movement. So that's why it's good to introduce a bit more today in this Hundoke, Oceania Hundoke. Back in 2017, Chumada called Professor Huang to East Garden in America, and at that time, Chumada asked Professor Huang to initiate Chinese People Federation for World Peace, and that was 2017. And then since then, in 2018, they established Chinese People Federation first in Hong Kong, which is part of China, and then also Taiwan with some ambassador for peace, and they established a Chinese People Federation in Taiwan. Then at that time, actually, Professor Huang already approached myself, and I think spoke to Reverend Stone as well to initiate and launch Chinese People Federation in Australia, I think back in 2018. But at that time, I was a national leader. I have actually hesitation to start another organization, let alone be the president or the leader. So there was hesitation at the time. But there was a calling to do that. Then in 2019, after I stepped down, and Reverend John, I think, was approached by Professor Huang to inaugurate Chinese People Federation in Australia. And Reverend John spoke to me. And at that time, I was still busy other thing. Then finally, Mrs. Huang called me to really help to start and support this inauguration. So that was how, and then finally we did our best, and we organized the launch of a Chinese People Federation in Australia. That was October 26, 2019, about now two years ago. So I'd like to now present this. As you can see, this logo, Chinese People Federation logo, this is a sign of a dragon and phoenix, representing yang and yin in the logo, and circling around the globe. Okay. Yes. So what is the Chinese People Federation for World Peace? It was conceived back in July 2017 and formally registered in Hong Kong and Taiwan in 2018. And then it has been inaugurated in 10 additional locations and has been received with enthusiasm in each community, Chinese community. The organization promotes traditional Chinese culture and values, especially reverence for heaven, family ethics, and social harmony. And already I mentioned about the logo. We all know about Confucius, who lived from 479 to 551 BC. He say the life of a moral man is an exemplification of the universal moral order, and the life of the vulgar person, on the other hand, is a contradiction of the moral order. So Confucius is a very important philosopher who has guided Chinese thoughts for many centuries, and his teaching still very relevant today. Especially, he talked about filial piety and also worship or our attendance towards heaven. So he talked about heaven, and now True Mother explained God as a heavenly parent. So this kind of a concept from heaven to heavenly parent, for Chinese, heavenly parent is very comfortable, right? I think before, just when you talk about God, is feel like just a Christian God, but the idea heavenly parent feel very warm and feel comfortable. So that is a great True Mother's revelation to all humankind, that God is our heavenly parent. Okay. Try to move. Okay. Another important figure is Tao. Tao Tzu. Again, he influenced Chinese philosophy, and talking about the heavenly path, Tao, which also has influenced Chinese thought, and also the religious thinking of the Chinese for many centuries. So all these figures, even though at the moment China is a communist, about 70 years communist, but Chinese history has been influenced by Confucius and Tao for many centuries. So it cannot take away even communism in China 70 years, but the root and the foundation of the Chinese culture is based on this teaching from Tao Tzu and from Confucius. With gratitude to true parents, showing us the role model of the true parents of heaven and humankind, with a vision to realize world peace, giving endless support and concern to the world 1.7 billion Chinese people who should undertake world peace from now on and in the future. So in July 2017, True Mother initiated Chinese People Federation and asked Professor Huang to initiate and establish Chinese People Federation, especially in 2019, to establish it in 12 cities around the world. And the mission is to take this historic opportunity and unite Chinese people around the world to promote human harmony, world peace, and cross-strait reconciliation, and to carry forward the fine tradition of Chinese culture to usher in the Chinese new century and the Pacific Rim civilization. Okay. And some of the core mission is to respect the ancient philosophers, such as Taoism and Confucius, and to be able to pass on and promote such a noble Chinese tradition in the Chinese community, and also practice this moral way of life of the saints and sages, and use it as a guiding principle in creating world peace, and promote traditional family values, family ethics, especially centered on filial piety. That's why Chinese People Federation created the filial piety movement and encourage filial piety and Hyojong as the core family values. Yeah, and of course, talk about affirm all these underlying principle. Important is aligned with our true parents' teaching. That is also talk about filial piety and attendance to heaven. And True Mother already, Reverend Yamada explained True Mother's autobiography. Talk about uniting the Chinese people because this is a time to create the age of the Pacific civilization. 1.7 million Chinese people need to involve. That's about 20% of the world population. And since unification movement in China has experienced challenges, True Mother want to connect the world Chinese and then be able to unite together, but finally be able to go back to China and restore China as a heavenly nation. There was the official inauguration of a Chinese People Federation by True Mother, and also the first World Chinese Assembly back in 2019. That was in November 22nd, right after the Cambodia summit, and this was held in Taiwan. And after the inauguration of Chinese People Federation in Australia, finally I was invited to attend this one in Taiwan, and we actually didn't know what would happen when we go there, but when I arrived there, they said that we will be appointed as leader of our nation in terms of the Chinese People Federation. And the next day, on the November 22nd, when we start, and we received the official appointment during this summit or assembly in Taiwan. So as you can see, Taiwan is in our movement is under Japan. Japan has 5 region, and Taiwan is the 6th region. So Taiwan is actually under the Japanese leadership in terms of region. So on the right side, you see all the Japanese leaders, and at the time I saw President Hori, our region president, and a wife as well attending. And then there are other world leaders attending as well during this assembly. So True Mother came and gave a beautiful speech and encouragement to all the world Chinese leaders at the time. Yep, so officially launched and hit the gong as well. Actually, I have a video of that, but it's 20 minutes, so I think I only have 20 minutes. So we will not play the video this time. And yeah, so there was an appointment of region. This is region leaders in like Asia Pacific and North America and Africa, South America. So all the region leaders here And then here is a nation that have been inaugurated. So Tumada gave an appointment, and at the time around 8 cities, nation have been inaugurated. So these are the cities so far have been inaugurated: Hong Kong, Taipei, New York, Malaysia, Canada, Tokyo, and then Sydney, that was number 7. Next, Indonesia, Seoul, Korea, and then London, and then the last one just recently in California. But actually after California, just 2 weeks ago, there was inauguration in Colorado, another American city in Colorado. So there are quite many Chinese in America, so that's why they are launching in New York first, East, and then West Coast, and Colorado is more the Midwest. So they have launched that in America. So Chinese People Federation is focusing on filial piety movement, which is Tumada's core message, Hyojong. So we also in Australia held a filial piety writing competition, and other city around the world have also organized filial piety activities. This is an event to celebrate True Parents' holy wedding this year, and at the time, international headquarters asked Chinese People Federation to hold this, and mostly done online, but the main venue was in Korea. And at the time, Tumada asked international president of WFWP, President Moon, to give this address. So she dressed a nice Chinese clothes and give a beautiful message. And she's a ballet. She has a ballet dancer group, and she really encouraged the audience and saying that they are preparing a Chinese ballet dance like Juliet and Romeo, that kind of a Chinese style, and the director is a Chinese lady, so she encouraged a Chinese participant with a message. And after Korea, this is a second Chinese World Assembly kickoff ceremony. This was last year, but it was because of COVID, it was just a kickoff. And this year, end of the month, November, Saturday from 12 to 1, there will be the official second Chinese World Assembly. And we encourage members and also invite Chinese friends to join the second Chinese World Assembly. Yeah, we are actually preparing a 1,000-day devotion with a goal to invite Tumada to visit China. Tumada visited China before, and Tumada at the time met the son of Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping was a very important Chinese leader who opened up the Chinese to the economy open up, and that was when China really developed. So Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping's son met Tumada at the time, and we with this devotion we are preparing and praying that someday Tumada will be able to meet President Xi Jinping in China. That is a vision and a dream. Hope to be able to achieve that in 2023. That is a goal and the determination of a Chinese national leader as well. And yeah, so this devotion is focusing on a family pledge because family family pledge is very special. It's only we have family pledge. Two parents create a family pledge. Only we have, and it is the essence of how we create a Chonyugu, and to realize Chonyugu. That is the essence. So we, of course, begin every day with a family pledge. So preparing and also praying for True Mother, and praying for Presidency, loving our enemy, praying our Presidency, preparing for that meeting. China's population, I think this map just show world population. If you put it into China, USA, and Brazil, and all the countries, that is a big population. Yeah. In terms of Belt and Roads, I know in Australia it's a bit controversial, but in the world, many countries are connected or sign up for it. In Africa, 40 countries, Europe and Central Asia, 34, East Asia and Pacific, 25. So these are the countries that connect to Belt and Road initiative. And in terms of Chinese overseas population, you have Indonesia. Indonesia has the biggest Chinese population outside of China, about 10 million, followed by Thailand, 7, and then Malaysia, 6 million. Originally, I'm from Malaysia, ancestry from southern part of China, Fujian, from Fujian, which is beside Taiwan. And United States have about 5.5, and then followed by Singapore, Canada. Australia is the number 7 biggest Chinese population in the world, and New Zealand is the number 13. So this is in terms of population. And also around the world, this is Chinese population around the world. Yep. So there is a vision and a goal to set up Chinese People Federation now in Australia, but I think there is a hope to establish in New Zealand, and then also in the island nation. Yeah. So of course, it's not easy to set up a organization, especially to keep going and run. We just don't want to set up and just dormant, but to be active and going. So yeah, so this is just a process. Set up a committee, core members, internal and external also, and register, and then inauguration. Inauguration can take place first before registration, and then regular activities, filial piety activities, and then join international activities. That's just a simple step to start this Chinese People Federation. Yeah, that's main part of my organization. I mean, my presentation, and I finish here. And maybe you have question and discussion like to open up. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Lim. Thank you for sharing with us. That was helping us to see the value and the importance of the Chinese People's Federation for world peace. I remember when Professor Huang came with his team to Australia to do it, to take it around Sydney. They're quite unique individuals. It was a pleasure to get to know them. And also when I heard about the Chinese People's Federation, I thought, well, we need to do this because China is such a big place. It really is a nation that I felt that when North and South Korea unites, that China will be opened up to become a Chongguk nation. And I still feel that not long after North and South Korea unite, China will become a Chongal Group nation because it has such a strong tradition of family values and ethics and filial piety that really underlie the whole existence of China. Because I remember when I was researching about China, why is China one of the nations that's lasted for 5,000 years, next to Korea and also Greeks. But I thought about that and realized it was because of filial piety in the family. They had the only consistent family values throughout all of history. And while the other countries came and went because of their lack of supporting the family. And so when I heard let's do it, I wanted to do it, have it done really nicely. So I realized, I was thinking like internal, external, that got to build up some sincere respect, but also have food. Chinese love to discuss everything around food. The whole family is around food. Because I remember as a boy, when I visited my Chinese friends, they would invite me for a meal, and they did it in a really interesting traditional way. There's one big bowl in the middle of the table, and we just had small bowls and a spoon, and we would just go around and everyone dipping into, and some of the people in the family didn't even bother putting it into the bowl to eat. They would just eat straight out of the common bowl. And I was thinking, okay, that's a bit, but I sort of put my bowl down and did it as well. So just joined in to have this family feeling. And Confucius and Tao and the Tao philosophy really point out respect and filial piety and food. So for the Chinese people, inauguration, for the sign of respect was to do the dragon dance, which is like many Chinese have an official thing. And it turns out we were the only one when we inaugurated that did the dragon dance. And I thought, great. And then we did a 13-course meal that sort of surprised everybody. We had the kitchen truck come in and park it in the back, and they'd come in and kept bringing food and more food, and people thinking, wow, it's still coming. It's still coming. And so it was a really happy and enjoyable time, and really showing a lot of respect to the Chinese people that have been in Australia and are still in Australia, and have basically came for the gold mines and built the railroads. It's they did. Chinese people have been in Australia almost as long as Australia's been in Australia, over 200 years. So it's a good part of this inauguration. And best person to be in charge, Sun Tek Lim, he's give him an applause for being the president of the Chinese People's Federation. So thank you. And I can see Chris has his hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Sun Tek. Thanks for that. Just a simple question, and not a negative perspective, but have you had enough foundation yet to gauge the Chinese Christian reaction to the organization?
Okay. Yeah, good question. Actually, after we inaugurated, we set a goal. We want to, first is actually without some members, it's very hard to organize anything. So I focus on creating our core, like members who are working together. So I'm very grateful to actually Australian member like Silvana Daly, and then we have Melbourne, Leighton Epps, and Mui Ying, Ananya, and also Steve Evans, very supportive. Here in Sydney we have Emily Tan, who is also very helpful, Mansu's wife, and Madeline in Perth, and also Isla has been very supportive, and Mrs. Yu and my wife and my children very supportive. So so based on that, we reach out to some VIP. We have ambassador for peace, who is a Chinese Li Lam, former mayor. Li Lam is a former mayor, very supportive. Even now, she's very supportive.
And then we reach out to a few new people, Pastor Samily and James Chang, and connect to others. In terms of our connection with Christian Chinese, during the inauguration, I call and connect them, try to invite them, but because we are very new, they say they are busy, they are not available to come to our event. However, we approach them, and we are going to find a way to reach them. So we have some, like family is a Chinese Christian, but we want to find a way to connect them. But we haven't had that big connection yet, but this is in our plan. So far, this is what we have done. We have like a Trinity, our VIP, and members, and we're just starting to move. But with the COVID, it's very hard to meet people. But now, after now opening up, also we have some Chinese youth. Just 2 weeks ago, I follow up with them, and one of them came to know about our blessing, and she actually asked me, "Can you help me to find my match? I've been trying to find, but very difficult. Can you help me to find a match?" So Chinese like marriage, know the importance of family and filial piety. So I think our movement can do well in China, and as you can see, Taiwan do very well with our two parents teaching. Yeah, answer is no. We don't have a great outreach here to Chinese Christian. If you do have, please let us know and we can connect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And Reverend Ito, go ahead. The last person getting out of time.
I have a question to the Reverend Lim. And in our island nation, in a quite new newborn country, our Chinese is only mainland Chinese, not immigrant, Chinese immigrant, but mainland China and Taiwan, and the diplomatic relationship is in Taiwan, like a Palau, Marshall Island. So how to access, this organization to them? For Taiwan is more easy, but for mainland China, because they are not immigrant, their home is in China, mainland China, and they're under the Chinese government, and this is very conflict. Xi Jinping and Yuan, Taiwan is, this political very difficult situation with the United States and other, and how to access to them, especially mainland Chinese. Why is it too much access to them?
Yeah. Actually, very good question. The chairman of the Chinese People Federation in currently is Taiwanese, but he is well respected in China. Actually, this person, I don't know, I forgot his full name. He was recently what we call not appointed, but he was recommended to be the chairman by our world chapters. And the international president is Professor Huang, but this person from Taiwan is the president. But he is respected in China. And Chinese People Federation, we don't take sides. We welcome both Taiwan and mainland Chinese. In Australia, we have connection with Chinese, mainland Chinese, and also we were open to Taiwanese as well. So how do we deal with a person from mainland China? Like the youth I talked about just now, she is from Guangzhou, southern part of China. So just invite them and connect them, because this is for Chinese, for the world. China in mainland China, as well as in Taiwan. We know there's a tension, but one of the mission of this Chinese People Federation is to bring about this peaceful reconciliation and a bridge for them. So, so when, for example, I just sent an invitation to the ambassador in Canberra, Chinese ambassador in Canberra, to give a speech in the Second World Assembly in Malaysia. So we approaching them as well, the mainland Chinese. So it's open. I think not to worry. As a citizen, I think there is a tension, but we can be the bridge for them. I believe. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. It's now time for us to offer our unison prayer. Let's pray for China. Okay, I'll just share the screen. And, let's begin. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Reverend Lim. Today, it's a
Thank
great presentation. Thank you.
Yes.
Very excellent.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.